Good morning, everybody. My name is Pranav, a legal intern at Lexis & Company for the month of June. And today, in legal news, DIN cannot be deactivated solely for disqualification under Section 164 subsection 2 of the Companies Act. Section 164 subsection 2, not retrospective, held the Kerala High Court. The court, while passing the ruling, disposed a batch of over 200 petitions challenging the disqualification of directors of companies for the failure of their companies to file financial statements or annual returns. While upholding the constitutionality of Section 164 subsection 2 and 167 subsection 1 of the Companies Act of 2013, which deal with the disqualification of directors from companies, the Kerala High Court recently made pertinent observations on the impact of these provisions in the case of Zakaria Maram Kandathil Mohan and others versus Union of India. Justice M. Nagaraj held that the disqualification of directors under Section 164 subsection 2 is not applicable retrospectively to the period before the Companies Act of 2013. The judgment read that directors of private companies cannot be disqualified for appointment or reappointment as mandated under Section 164 subsection 2 if any of such three consecutive defaults in filing annual returns or financial statements is before the financial year 2014-2015. The court also added that this would be especially so because up to March 31st, 2014, the provisions of Section 274, subsection 1, clause G of the Act of 1956 were governing the field. Among other conclusions, the court has also held that the Director Identification Number or the DIN cannot be deactivated only on account of temporary disqualification of directors under Section 164, subsection 2. The court holds that the DIN of the petitioners allotted under Rule 10 of the Companies Allotment and Qualification of Directors Rules 2014 are not liable to be deactivated or cancelled solely for the reason that the petitioners stand disqualified for appointment or reappointment as directors of company by operation of Section 164 subsection 2. The court proceeded to direct the reactivation of the DINs of the petitioners forthwith. However, the authorities were given liberty to cancel or deactivate the DINs of the petitioners for any reasons laid down under Rule 11 of the Company Appointment and Qualification of Directors Rules 2014 dealing with the cancellation or surrender or deactivation of the DINs. Now let's look at the case background. The court passed the ruling while disposing of a batch of 200 petitions challenging the disqualification of various directors of companies under Sections 164 and 167 of the Companies Act 2013. The reason was for the failure of the companies to file financial statements or annual returns. Since common questions of law arose in all writ petitions, they were heard together and disposed of by a common judgment. Advocates Nayod Prasannan Patali, Shamim Ahmed, Mohan Pulikal, Sukumar Nayan Ummen, Sherry Samuel Ummen, and Ramola Nayanpalli appeared for the petitioners. Central Government Counsel M.N. Manmadan and Assistant Solicitor General Vijay Kumar represented the Union of India and other respondents. Now the law in question. Section 164 subsection 2 lays down that a director of a company would stand disqualified for a period of 5 years if the company does not file financial statements for a continuous period of 3 financial years or defaults on payments of other dues concerning debenture repayment, dividends declared, etc. The proviso to Section 164 subsection 2 states that where a person is appointed director of a company which is in default on account of Section 164 subsection 2, he shall not incur the disqualification for a period of 6 months from its date of appointment. Section 167 subsection 1 clause A calls for the directors to vacate their office in a company upon incurring disqualification as per Section 164 of the Companies Act of 2013. The proviso to Section 167 subsection 1 clause A carved out that when a director is disqualified on account of the company failing to file its financial statements or its defaults on other dues prescribed under Section 164 subsection 2, such person would have to vacate from director's office in all of the companies in which he is a director but not the company that committed the default. The following are the questions of law raised before the court. Firstly, whether Section 164 subsection 2 clause A and 167 subsection 1 clause A of the Companies Act 2013 are ultra vires and being violative of Article 14 or 19. Whether the principles of natural justice should be read into Section 164 subsection 2 in view of the nature and severity of the consequences arising from its operation. Whether Section 164 subsection 2 is retrospective in its operation, whether notice under Section 455 subsection 4 need be necessarily issued on defaulting company before Section 164 subsection 2 clause A to become operational, whether the action of the respondents in deactivating the DINs of the petitioners is justified. The court also looked into the constitutionality of Section 164 subsection 2 and 167. The court wrote that Section 164 subsection 2 and Section 167 subsection 1 of the Companies Act 2013 are not ultra vires of Article 14 or Article 19 subsection 1 clause G of the Constitution of India. The petitioners contended that the incidents resulting in the disqualification under Section 164(2) are not directly attributable to directors and could be due to the factors that can be due to the factors outside the control, such as the pandemics or internet restrictions. However, the consequences to the directors are grave. These legislative provisions are excessively arbitrary and would be hit by Article 14 of the Constitution. The judge, however, disagreed and stated that the purpose of disqualification of defaulting directors in other companies is to make the directors answerable to the corporate sector. The purpose is to save the corporate community from the consequences of mismanagement. It is intended to increase the standards of corporate governance. It is intended to protect creditors and the general public from the mismanagement of companies. Therefore, the provisions of Section 164 and 167 will fall within the exceptions under Article 19, subsection 6. The court concurred with the Karnataka High Court's judgment in Yashodhara Shroff v. Union of India, which had upheld the constitutional validity of such sections. Impact of provisos of Section 164 subsection 2 and 167 subsection 1 clause A. Another question addressed was the impact of the provisos of Section 164 subsection 2 and 167 subsection 1 clause A of the Act of 2013, which was inserted by the Companies Amendment Act of 2017 with effect from May 7, 2018. While upholding the constitutional validity of these provisions, the court also found that a part of the proviso to Section 167 subsection 1A was prospective, whereas the other part was only clarifactory and therefore retrospective. While the words provided that varying cause disqualification under Section 164 subsection 2, the office director shall become vacant other than the company which is in default under the subsection will have retrospective operation. The words in all companies will only have prospective operation, the court had stated. The court observed that the intention behind inserting the said provisos were to enable the defaulting companies to file their annual returns or financial statements for defaulted years and to ensure the director's vacation from office in all of the companies upon a default. Finally, the court observed whether the notice under Section 455 subsection 4 is a sine qua non before disqualification of directors under Sections 164 subsection 2 and 167. On this issue, the court said that Section 455 of the Companies Act is a provision intended for an altogether different purpose, that is, to enable certain inactive companies to apply for the status of a dormant company. It did not concern the disqualification of directors for the failure to file returns. Rather, the court observed that the provision is primarily intended to apply the companies formed and registered for a future project or to hold an asset or an intellectual property and have no significant financial transaction, and also to an inactive company to enable such companies to apply for the status of dormant company. The court therefore held that Section 455 cannot be construed as a provision to issue notice for defaulting companies before the directors to become amenable to disqualification under Section 164 subsection 2. This court therefore holds a notice under Section 455 subsection 4 is not a sine qua non for applying the provisions of Section 164 or 167. Before parting with the matter, the court also added, where the names of any company stand struck off, the petitioners in respect of such companies are at liberty to invoke Section 252 of the Companies Act of 2013 to challenge the striking of the names of the companies from the register of companies and to resort legal remedies available to them to challenge the disqualification for holding the office of the director. With these directions, the petition was disposed of. And with this, I come to the end of the news today. Thank you.